everyone, welcome back to the Andujo Boxing Review. Popeye here.
Christoph.
Today we're going to be reviewing the upcoming fight with Spence return to the ring after a 1-year layoff from his huge car accident versus Danny Garcia. Man, this is going to be a good one. Now, Spence is coming into this fight with a 26-0 and 10-1 KOs. He is 30 years of age now, so he's not up there in age, but in boxing, once you start hitting your 30s, your career is starting to speed up now, and you're starting to really conquer whatever request is that you want to do. Whether it's gaining divisions, unifying your titles, whatever the goals are.
Because it seems like the career line of a fighter now is different than it was, say, 20 years ago, right? Where maybe before, when you were in your 30s, you're already kind of on the decline. Now guys are fighting into like their mid-30s. How did that, again, as you were kind of plotting out your career, I guess, how long did you think, how much of a prime window do you feel you have? And how did that kind of affect your planning in terms of, okay, we're going to go here, here, and here?
I had a huge prime window. Like I said, I kind of started boxing relatively late at 15. A lot of guys started 7, 6 years old, and as young kids. So I think I started a little bit late, and I don't feel myself slowing down at all. I feel like I can make 147 for at least 2 more years, or as long as I want to, as long as the big fight's there. And if I had to, I'll move up. But I definitely want to be more active, and I definitely want to try the landscape at 154 too.
Now, Danny Garcia is also up there in age. He's 32 years old. Like I said, he's not like he's old and faded fighter, but I'm just saying he has to also speed up what he wants to accomplish and end up with his own career as well. And he's coming in with a record of 36 wins, 2 losses, and 21 KOs. 2 losses against one of the best, or 2 of the best, Sean Porter and Keith Thurman. Now, what makes this interesting there, Christoph, is the fact that Spence beat Sean Porter by a split decision. There was a knockdown in the fight, so what makes this interesting is the fact that if that knockdown wouldn't have happened, it could have been a draw, or it could have been a Sean Porter win. Now, Sean Porter beat Danny Garcia by a unanimous decision back in 2018, so almost 2 years ago. But you know what they say, styles make fights. So one can't say that Porter's just going to come out and destroy Danny Garcia because of the fact that he beat Sean Porter, and Sean Porter beat Danny Garcia by unanimous decision, because styles make fights. So for all we know is Danny Garcia can come in with the right style and upset Spence.
From what what very little I've seen of Danny Garcia, Spence, what was his last fight? Mikey Garcia?
Spence, yes, it was Mikey Garcia.
It's Mikey Garcia. He's just he uses his reach real well. And
correction, I'm sorry. No, his last fight was against Sean Porter.
Okay, Sean Porter was his last fight.
And then before that, he fought Mikey Garcia.
Okay, because that fight was huge. We were sorry, Mikey Garcia. We were rooting for you, but it didn't go your way. So he was just too big. I think Errol Spence was way too big. That was I really like Mikey Garcia. He's a real fighter. He's exciting to watch. So that fight, that was big.
Yeah.
So
it was a big fight. Hats off to Mikey Garcia. He came in, went up 2 weight divisions to fight the monster in the division. Being Spence. So all credit we can give to Mikey Garcia is that he had the courage to do it, and no one else did. None of the other welterweights wanted to go up, even in his weight division, to face Spence. But Mikey went up 2 weight divisions and did it. So, I do give credit to Spence for not just going in there and overpowering the small guy. As he said, he wanted to go in there and use his boxing skills, in which he did beautifully. However, back to Danny Garcia, I think that's going to be a fight that I personally don't want to miss, only because Danny Garcia has a huge right hook. He has a lot of power. He can do both. This is what makes this a really good fight. He can actually box when he wants to. He can be aggressive when he wants to. Vice versa. Spence can do the same thing. He proved it against Mikey Garcia. He can box and he can brawl. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what mix of a fight they want to do. Are they gonna want to get aggressive? Are they gonna want to, go in for the quick stoppage? Or are they gonna want to go and display, their boxing skills? Maybe a little both. I don't know. Whichever way they do it, let me tell you, this is gonna be a great fight. And what do you think in the whole situation with Spence coming out of his 1-year layoff with his car accident?
Some people say ring rust is real. Some people say it's not. So mentally, from what I've read, he seems to be in good spirits and he's found a lot of positives. But yeah, he got in his accident in a Ferrari in downtown Dallas. He hit the median and flipped, and they said luckily he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, otherwise he would have died if he was wearing a seatbelt. So thank God he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So he's found a lot of positives from it. So we'll see. A year off, not too crazy, right? But I feel like he's going to be veteran enough. He'll be okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you what is crazy though, the fact that there's a lot of speculation on how severe the injuries were and whatnot. He's been very discreet about the whole thing, and to me it's understandable. It's his personal life and he doesn't feel like he needs to talk about the severe injuries or not. At the speed the car was going, as you mentioned, the car flipped over how many times?
I don't remember how many times. I think it was like 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5 in a Ferrari. That just tells you how fast he was going. There was a test. There could have been some, alcohol involved in this incident. I think he was charged with the DUI after the fact. However, with the amount of times the car flipped, how fast he was going, you would have to assume that the injuries were as speculated. I know he had some missing teeth that I heard about.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't something where he just got up and started walking away from the incident.
No.
He was hospitalized for about 2 weeks or more. And this is a guy that walks around in shape all the time. He takes his nutrition, his training, just to another level. So that just tells you. I would speculate that the injuries were very severe. Now, what makes this, hats off to Mr. Spence, is the fact that he's not even wanting to do a tune-up fight.
Fighting on a bigger platform, fighting on pay-per-view. I can fight top names back to back to back. I don't want any tune-ups or just a raw soccer or somebody like that. I want to fight top names, whether it's Danny Garcia, Terrence Crawford, whether I got to move up and fight somebody, or even if it's you guys from anybody. I want to fight. I want to fight top competition.
Danny Garcia is ranked number 7 in the world, former welterweight champion. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was a unified champion at one point as well. Elite fighter, and I think the welterweight division amongst all the other divisions is one of those divisions where there's a lot of, prospects, high caliber fighters, and they're all willing to fight each other for the most part. I don't know if a lot of them want to fight, Spence, but, they've already fought each other, and now they hit a wall where now they have no choice. The only one that's left is really Spence, so now they can't run away from him. So what's make this super exciting to me is the fact that he doesn't want to take a tune-up fight. He's going up against this top leap guy in his prime still, and saying, "Hey, I don't need a tune-up fight. I'm just gonna go in there and take care of my business." Now that right there, my friend, is someone that has a lot of courage. Proves that he's an elite fighter. and that he doesn't want to play around with wasting time, getting paychecks, fighting nobodies.
Yeah.
You know, and now hats off to Danny Garcia because he's stepping up to the plate, and he's not just choosing to fight just any welterweight to get his belts back. He wants to fight the best. And who's the best right now? Spence is. So both of these guys, you know, they're willing to come up, step up to the plate and clash. And I think it's going to be an awesome clash with these two guys, man. I just can't wait for this fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, we keep doing these videos and we keep getting real fighters fighting real fighters now, you know? So I think that, you know, as far as the way things are looking right now, as the matchups are going, it's going in a real positive direction, you know? So that's the power of the mind, right? Is everything. Right. So no tune-up fight, just hey, let's go.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, he's going by a lot of faith right now because one or two things can happen in this fight. You know, either he truly believes that his body's 100% healed, that he can do it mentally and physically, or number two, it's gonna backfire on him. And as soon as the first few rounds are over and done with, he's gonna really feel it on his body, and it might affect him. So I think a lot of people are gonna buy this fight on pay-per-view just to see how even Spence responds to such a high caliber fight. As you mentioned earlier, you know, it's 1 year is not like a huge layoff, but it's not the year of the layoff. It's why he was laid off.
You're right. Yeah, all the healing after the accident.
Is there enough time for the body to heal when you have broken bones, missing teeth, broken ribs? You know, I don't know. I guess the fight's gonna say it all, right? As soon as he starts feeling those punches, because Danny Garcia can punch.
Yeah, he's got some crazy hooks. He's gonna have to show up. So, yeah, I've seen that right hand, and it's brutal.
I tell you what, man. If I was, Danny Garcia, my strategy would be going to the body, because if he had, broken ribs, as they speculate that he did, he took a lot of damage to the body. I'm gonna go straight to the body, fresh out of that incident. You know.
Yeah, I mean.
Whatever it takes, right?
Yeah. That's a good game plan. I didn't think of that at all. Yeah, it's a really good game plan. I like that. Yeah, that's really smart. Yeah.
So now, with Spence coming out of retirement for about a year now, well, not actually retired, but coming out of this car incident layoff, what do you see in the first round or two of this fight?
I'm gonna say a lot of feeling out in the first round, and then after that, it was just start to slowly just pick up a little bit. You know, I feel like Spence kind of catches on timing pretty good. Like when he was boxing Mikey Garcia, his timing was impressive. That was really impressive to watch. So yeah, I think it'll like slowly pick up. I feel like he's strong enough mentally. I mean, it takes a wild man, right? If you're champ, nobody can beat you, and you're just driving a Ferrari, you can't die. You know what I mean? Like it takes a wild man to be a champ. Like, man, maybe he's that guy that's just like whatever, he can just jump in, and he's good to go. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think this is a real evenly, high capacity match. And when you have that going on in boxing, man, that just really gets the boxing fans super excited, to see. So I think you hit the ballpark right on. I think they're going to take about a round or two to fill each other out. More than anything, I think Spence is, just because he wants to see how his body, I think he's going to see how his body's taking the shots after the incident. And if he feels good about it, I think he's going to start getting very aggressive quickly. If he feels like, hey, this is hurting more than it should be right now, then I think he's going to maybe go into his boxing tactics. So, I don't know what you think, but me personally, I would have to say that I would edge Spence in this fight, only because he's a rose. I mean, they're both intelligent guys, but I think, Spence has superior, very superior boxing skills. He has a punching power, knockout power, with just one punch. So I just think he has a lot more tools to pull out. So if he feels like his body's not ready to go to war, I think he can just box and still win. If he feels like he can actually, go to war and win, I think he'll win it that way as well.
Yeah.
So whichever way he decides to win it, I think most likely he'll win. But I'm not gonna say it's like a 50-50. I would say it's like a 70% chance for Spence, 40% chance for Danny Garcia. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I have to agree. I like your game plan though for Danny. Like, hey, if he listens to it and it works, you're welcome. Just saying.
No, for sure. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You know what?
I mean,
That's how I
it's
would be thinking.
It's a good strategy. I mean, you signed up, you fight. I mean, you know what I mean? That would work.
Yeah.
I mean, right. You're trying to win a lot of fights. It's about playing the game. You know.
Right.
So, I mean,
Now,
yeah.
one thing I'm thinking about is that I've wondered about, just kind of going back a little bit to the Mikey Garcia fight with Spence. Mikey Garcia with the way smaller guy, I have always put a lot of thought into, did he really just wanted to box, or did he figure out why he just really can't knock out Mikey Garcia being the smaller guy? Only he knows that in his mind. If he really tried to go for the knockout and just couldn't, because Mikey Garcia, he's a smaller guy, but he's very skilled. He can slip punches, move.
Tough. Dude, so tough.
So maybe Spence just gave up and having to knock him out because Mikey was playing more of a, safe side of not fighting as aggressive.
Yeah.
But is that going to play a role in his mental state, though? Oh, I couldn't knock out the smaller guy. Am I going to be able to knock out Mikey Garcia, the big puncher? And then coming out of this accident. Wherever it happens, I think it's just going to be, a great fight.
I agree.
Well, to wrap this up, Christoph, what is your prediction?
I got Errol Spence. I'm gonna say decision. Just to come back after a year, the accident. I'm gonna say Errol Spence decision. Just good classic technical boxing. And I feel like Danny's a little wide, so he's got great hooks, but I feel like Errol's he's gonna figure him out. He's gonna catch his timing and just outbox him and go to the decision. Get comfortable again, get that ring time in. I got Errol.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I think you have the right idea as far as like going to a decision. I'm gonna actually say that this is going to be a stoppage for Errol Spence, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of people are criticizing him. You know how it is out there with the social media. They always have their minds to display, and they're just criticizing him. Hey, he's taking this fight too soon. Why is he fighting Mikey Garcia? Not Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
He's not taking the tune-up fight. What is he doing? Is he crazy? That the accident affect his brain? He can't even think rationally.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? So,
Yeah.
to me, Spence, he's a humble guy. He's not one of those type of guys that starts trash talking about anybody or whatnot. He's one of those type of guys that, he just goes and does it in the ring. But I think he's going to prove a point. He's been gone for about a year. He took a lot of heat for the car accident. He's taking a lot of criticism for fighting Danny Garcia right now. He's already 30 years old. He's like, you know what? I think I need to sweep Danny Garcia off his feet, knock him out, move on, and start building my resume to where I needed to be, which is one of the best welterweights who has ever lived. So in order to do that, what does he need to do? Knock out Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia has never been defeated by knockout. He has been hurt, he has been stumbled, but has never suffered a KO. And I truly believe that that's what's going to happen. Some know a couple of things here and there about boxing, and for some reason my intuition tells me it's going to probably end somewhere around maybe the 9th round or less. 9 rounds or less, KO, Spence.
Okay.
Remember that.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. It's a good
All right.
point. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Andujo Boxing Review. We'll keep you posted on upcoming fights and other great events coming up. You can also visit us on Popeye Boxing 1 Instagram.
And Christoph Luke on Instagram.
All right, y'all. You guys have a Great one. Bye.